Coming up on the official Celtic FC podcast, we look ahead to another flag day for the champions. And Gerry McCulloch speaks to Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers in the USA. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the official Celtic FC podcast for the 2024-25 season. I'm your host, Matthew Campbell, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by three wonderful guys here in the studio today. We've got Lewis Laird, Daylin Docherty and Paul Cuddihy, and we're going to be looking ahead to this weekend's league opener for the Hoops. We're going to be looking ahead to the season for both the men's first team and the women's first team, and we'll be having a little look at some of the things that you can expect to see and hear through the podcast this season. Paul, I'll come to yourself first. We are looking ahead, obviously, to Sunday's match, Flag Day. It's always a wonderful occasion, but how are you looking forward to the season in general for Celtic?
Well, I'm excited by the new set for the official Celtic FC podcast. It's a much better backdrop. So I think when you actually see the pitch and you just, the work that's been done throughout the summer, and we're in that privileged position when we see how it's transformed again, and when you start to see and it's getting all lined, I think that's when the excitement starts. And as I say, we're getting to a wee glimpse behind the curtains before Sunday, and it's always brilliant. I think everybody's looking forward to the start of a new season. Flag Day is it's a really good celebration. After a couple of months without domestic football, it's just great to be back at Celtic Park. We've had some great games, especially in America, that everybody's really enjoyed. But you really want the season just to get underway, and I think there's so much optimism about. I think the season ahead. I know there's never 100% unanimity in terms of that kind of positive feeling, but I do think people are looking at the manager and the squad and the way we've been playing and thinking, I think it's going to be a good season.
You referenced the sort of trip to America there, the pre-season fixtures. You covered those games obviously for Celtic TV. Obviously, it was a really worthwhile trip for Celtic. Obviously, wonderful results as well. Scored a lot of goals. Is that adding a little bit to the sort of anticipation as we approach this weekend? Because we beat DC United. That was a good result. It was decent. But then to go and beat Manchester City, and then beat Chelsea comprehensively in our final game. Do you think that's just adding a little bit in terms of as we approach this season?
Well, I think it helps in terms of the positivity, the fact that there have been good results. I think pre-season, if you look back over the years, if we've had a poor result in pre-season, everybody says, well, it doesn't really matter because it's just a pre-season game and it's only when the actual competitive football starts. But I think certainly in terms of the way we've played, the way the manager spoke after the game, particularly the games in America, obviously the first couple of games here, that was the first two games the players were back at United in Queen's Park, but I think he seemed to be pleased, particularly against the English opposition, the way we pressed and the way we took the game to the opposition. And I suppose when you're looking at these teams, particularly like Manchester City, these are the sort of teams that we'll be hoping to compete against in the Champions League, and that they are going to be the toughest of tests. So it's ultimately whatever happens in pre-season, it doesn't necessarily have a bearing on the season ahead. But there's no doubt you'd much rather be winning these games and be talking up the team rather than maybe having 2 or 3 disappointing results and then thinking, right, well, obviously once the competitive football starts, it'll be fine. So, yeah, I think I certainly enjoyed the games. I think they were really good to commentate on. And, apart from the performances, I think my only other take from the games was the Chelsea game where Peter Grant declared at the start of the second half of the Chelsea game that he didn't think that Jesus would have been a fan of VAR, which that kind of knocked my commentary for about 20 minutes. I didn't know how to take that. And I thought, well, if anybody knows Peter will know.
Yeah, that's it. That's the sort of insight that Peter's bringing, you know what I mean? It was a wonderful pre-season, Jesus included. But we're obviously looking ahead to Sunday's match against Kilmarnock. They were tricky opponents for us at times last season, but we're also speaking a little bit about the anticipation and excitement. We're looking behind us here. The pitch looks sensational. The stage is set for Flag Day. How much are you looking forward to Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. As Paul has said, Matt, it's you're just obviously looking forward to the season getting started, and obviously to not repeat what Paul's just said. It's been a relatively positive pre-season, but there's nothing like the first game of the season here at Celtic Park. Kilmarnock, as you said, they were very tricky opposition. I think they obviously knocked us out the cup, beat us at Rugby Park in December. So you kind of know what you get from a Derek McInnes side. They're currently, having to manage playing in Europe at the minute. At time of recording, it's obviously before their second leg, so we'll see how they get on. But they have to manage that now. That's something a bit different for Derek McInnes' side. And there's a few good players in their squad. I know they've added Ndaba, and they've got obviously Robbie McCrory that's now went down to Kilmarnock. So yeah, it should be quite interesting, and we'll see how our pre-season form translates into the first game of the season here against Kilmarnock on Sunday.
You were talking about the fact that they were a bit tricky for us at times last season. But towards the end of the season, obviously, we win the league at Rugby Park. We clinch the title. We sweep them aside, basically, to win the title that evening at Rugby Park. But do you think, because of the fact that they were a little bit tricky for us last season, they caused us some problems, do you think there'll be a wee bit of added incentive within the dressing room and from the manager in terms of, it's almost, you make a statement right away if you go and beat a team that were difficult last season?
It's funny that you should say that, because going to Rugby Park in May, I thought that it was so poetic that we had the chance to clinch the title at Rugby Park, given the difficulty we had, and as the team progressed throughout the season, Rugby Park was the real place where we had our lows during the season. So it was really appropriate that we went there and played in such a Celtic style and won the title so comprehensively, that I thought that's what we felt then. It's also appropriate that we start the season against them, given that we clinched the title against them in May. It was a fantastic night, great celebrations down at Rugby Park. So it's very appropriate that we kick off against them this time around, and it's, as you say, maybe that same feeling that we'll maybe go out with similar style to say that low's behind us now. That was part of the growth throughout the season, through Brendan Rodgers' second stint at the club. You had to really hit that low, and now it's all positive, and we're pushing forward, and we're really looking forward to this season ahead.
I can't wait for this weekend. It's been building, certainly. I just think the pre-season results and just seeing the boys back in action and whatever, it just sort of, the excitement starts to build. It's been a busy summer of sport, obviously, with the Euros, got the Olympics. We'll touch on that a little bit. We're obviously looking forward to Sunday. Lewis, you're not going to be here watching on Sunday because you're going to be elsewhere, because you're travelling with the women's first team as they head off on their pre-season pre-season tour. They're heading to Sweden. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, just as sort of the men's get back from the States, it's another sort of pre-season trip. But yeah, it should be a really good one. Obviously been in for about a month now, the girls doing pre-season preparations, and I think that's been really good, being able to sort of get down to work ahead of the season. But these trips always provide the best opportunity. And pre-season, obviously getting minutes on the pitch with friendlies, two good friendlies to come as well, against Djurgården and Hammarby, who are two good sides in Sweden, who Elaine will know well. Our last club she played for was Hammarby, so she'll know those teams well. And I think it sort of the way the schedule sets up, it sets us up really nicely for Champions League, because the way it works, we've got a game on the Saturday, a game on the Wednesday, and that's what we'll be looking towards for the Champions League. But obviously these things are really important on the pitch, but also off the pitch. Players, especially new signings, getting to sort of live closer together and get used to each other. So these trips are always perfect in pre-season to get ready for the new season.
You obviously work quite closely in terms of with the women's first team, cover the matches, you're across that entire sort of aspect of the club. The end of last season for Elena's side was extraordinary. The way they won the title was unbelievable. We've covered it, we've spoken about it. It was just something really special, but it was a new feeling in terms of the women's side winning the title. When you're around the team just now, are you feeling, is there a sort of energy towards trying to retain that title, and what do you think? How do you think this season's going to pan out?
Well, that's sort of been the thing with the last few years. Every year there's sort of been more and more history. So whether it be sort of like first playing in the Champions League, first winning the Scottish Cup, then doing back-to-back Scottish Cups, and finally sort of winning the league here, as you touch on. So you know, every year they've sort of built on that, and you can definitely feel like they want to do that again, especially, you know, we talk about opening the season here this weekend, but then the following weekend we'll have our opening game here as well, the girls, so that's a really exciting. And, you know, speaking to Kelly Clark recently, and she was saying how there's things she sort of checked off as a Celtic player, and this is just another one, getting to open the season, another flag day here at Celtic Park, which is just such an exciting incentive ahead of the new season.
Definitely, it's going to be really exciting. And as the season sort of goes on, as our podcast rolls on through the season, we've got loads of different content coming this season. We're going to be speaking a lot more to the men's first team, but also to the women's first team as well, getting a little bit of an insight into what's happening inside the dressing room, how things are going. We've got loads of other different features that we'll be doing as well. We've got a feature on My Celtic Story, which we're going to be introducing in the not too distant future, where we'll be speaking to Celtic supporters, getting their memories from their lives supporting Celtic. We're obviously, of course, going to be interviewing a lot of ex-players and Celtic-leaning celebs as well. And the first of those type of episodes is coming, of course, next week. And Paul, you spoke to Rebecca McGowan, who is a Team GB athlete in the Taekwondo team at the Olympics. She's competing next weekend. So a lot of excitement about that. How was Rebecca when you spoke to her? How's she feeling about her upcoming fight?
She was still in the middle of her kind of final sort of training camp. She was very calm. She said, I think her family have taken on all the nerves. But she's also the first Scot to represent Team GB at the Olympics in Taekwondo. And she's got a real chance of a medal. She's also fighting in the kind of the heavyweight category. It's the 67 plus kilograms. So when she told me that weight, I said, well, surely as a Celtic fan,
yeah,
you're destined to win gold if you're going, at 67. But yeah, big Celtic fan from Dumbarton. I think the club that she fights out of is Zannisland. I know her dad and her brother are still season ticket holders here. She's had to focus on her own sport. So it's Saturday, the August the 10th. So in between, you can watch her various fights that day, and then obviously come along here and watch the women's team lift the flag, which I'm actually really looking forward to. I think kind of Lewis touched on it. I think the women's team are creating their own history, and what's exciting, I think, for us as fans is we're right there at the ground level, and again in years to come we can say we were there when we saw the team winning the league for the first time. But I think even just milestones like having Flag Day at Celtic Park for the women's team, hopefully the first of many, and you're hoping there'll be a big crowd for that as well.
Absolutely, it's just wonderful to keep having these moments in history, Dale, and it's wonderful for us obviously here, getting to obviously work for this club and experience that firsthand. It's going to be an exciting couple of weeks, but overall an exciting season ahead for us, even for us here in terms of the podcast. I know for yourself at Celtic TV, I'm sure you've got plenty on the cards for the season ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a really good positive response to, we had over 20 pieces of exclusive content on Celtic TV, so I know a lot of people subscribe just so they can get that live access outside the UK and Ireland to the games here at Celtic Park and beyond. If you're in the UK and Ireland, it's obviously that unique thing that at 10 o'clock at night you can actually watch the full game back. So if you're not seeing the game, you can get you're the first that they can watch Celtic in the UK and Ireland at that time of night. But yeah, over 20 pieces of exclusive content last season. You actually hosted one of our fine bits. May I add the If You Know Your History series.
You're only saying that because you're on the podcast.
I paid him to say that.
Not at all. We haven't had an agreement before we came in at all. So we're going to do a second series of that. I think we're going to continue on doing another series of My Greatest Game, which is always a really riveting watch. You get an ex-Celtic player, they sit down and they break down their favourite game for Celtic bit by bit. It's really excellent. There's 9 episodes of that on Celtic TV just now, and like a bit similar to your My Celtic Story, there's I hope that we'll maybe do a feature around the Celtic season ticket holders here in the stadium, and they can almost similarly tell us their favourite experiences sitting in their seat enjoying those moments in history, whether it's the men's team, and you might now get a young girl coming on to be able to tell us that their best supporting moment was Amy Gallagher scoring that goal at the end of the season. So that's the plan, but as always, it's the only place for any Celtic content, especially here at Celtic Park. All the games, all the goals, live and exclusive outside the UK and Ireland.
Done that before.
It's just a walking advert.
He's
He's
done
done
that
Celtic
before, hasn't he,
TV.
man?
I'm just a walking commercial at this point.
And the thing is, he didn't even write that. They had that there. You know what I mean? That's the standard.
Just like that.
Unbelievable. I need notes. He doesn't need notes.
I'm a walking call to action.
Brilliant. It's unbelievable. It's superb. Lewis, it's exciting, but you know, we're talking about this episode that we'll be bringing out next week, early next week, with Rebecca McGowan, the Olympian. You and I have been catching little bits of the Olympics through the day. I'm sure everybody's been the same. Mm-hmm. What has been your favourite sport that you've watched so far? I think I already know the answer to this, right? Because we watched it together. What's been your favourite Olympic sport that you've watched so far?
I mean, there's been a few that I think we've become experts.
We have.
And you know, the diving the other day was top notch.
The synchronised
diving. Now I think
he's getting in the mood for the season ahead. That's what he's saying there, getting the diving.
You could take a position as judges at this point, you know.
It was remarkable that you passed judgment. I hadn't never watched any of it before.
We know our stuff about synchronised diving. Don't worry about that. Honestly, you know, like we know it's weird though, isn't it? When the Olympics comes along, you become experts in these sports. What has been? I'll come to you guys here, Daylin. Your favourite sport that you've watched at the Olympics so far?
It's always swimming for me. I love the you know the fragments of error that it takes. I just it's much more enjoyable than the athletics round the pitch. For me, I love the actual nature of the skill. It's so hard for these athletes to do. So it's always the swimming for me.
It was a good choice. You're right. The margin of error, it's like 2/100th of a second, whatever. Paul, for yourself, what's been your favourite sport so far?
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Daylin, because it's funny. Like, I would never watch swimming at any other time over that in that 4-year period. It's just never on my radar, and obviously it's more widely covered. I watched the other night the 800 metres freestyle where the Irish swimmer from Armagh won, and it was, I mean, he won it brilliantly. That was really good. That was I was really cheering him on. But yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think the atmosphere in that aquatic centre's great, and as you say, the margins, because even a couple of the pundits were explaining the difference in some of the relays of how much time can be lost or saved just depending on when one swimmer touches the wall and the other one jumps. Just wee things like that which you're not aware of. But then after the Olympics, you just forget it for 4 years. But yeah, I do enjoy that. You
make a good point. Daniel Whiffen is the swimmer who won last night, and I think he said in his post swim interview that it's been a wonderful few days because they've won the All Ireland football championship, and he's won the Olympic medal.
I mean, they get Sam Maguire's back in Armagh, so it's been a brilliant few days for that county.
It's absolutely tremendous. I'm really looking forward to hearing the interview with Rebecca, and I'm looking forward then obviously to next weekend, see how she gets. It's always good when there's a little Celtic connection in there as well. In terms of who you're rooting for. I watched the gymnastics last night, by the way.
So did I. It was excellent.
That's incredible.
The women's
I've never watched
it. Was outstanding.
Unbelievable. I haven't. That's
Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, I think it was. It was just absolutely unbelievable to watch. It was some skill.
Are you an expert in the gymnastics now as well? Right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He knows what he's looking for. Listen, what we're going to do, I thank you very much for coming along and getting into this first episode of the season.
And I think we should also say credit's due to you for actually building this. A lot of sweat and tears went into this that people don't realise.
This is it. Not just an expert when it comes to synchronised diving or the pommel horse, also an expert when it comes to building couches and table. Listen, it's
a man of many talents.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you very much. What we're going to do, obviously the boys were just over in the States on their pre-season tour, and while they were over there, Gerry McCulloch sat down with Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales to chat a little bit about the US tour and to look ahead to the season, which starts on Sunday. So we're going to let you see that interview now. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you like, follow and subscribe, of course, wherever you get your podcast. It's sure to be a very exciting season for the official Celtic FC podcast. Thank you very much, and hail hail.
Welcome to the first official Celtic FC podcast of the 2024-25 season, and it's pre-season. We're here in America. We're in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's raining outside. We've not seen much rain this tour, but when it rains, oh my goodness, it rains. We've got Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales here. Thanks for joining us, guys. We thought it might be good to put the two of you together because when we promoted the tour, in particular the game that's about to take place, the game against Chelsea and Notre Dame, there was the whole kind of Fighting Irish connection and the American connection, so it's good to have you both here. How have you enjoyed the tour so far? What have been the highlights for you? Come to you first, Liam.
It's been brilliant. It's been a great experience. You know, we obviously stayed in Washington DC for a few days. We got to see all the sites. We got to tour the White House, and the games have been good. They've been a challenge. Like, the weather's hot, it's humid, and we're all sort of getting our fitness back, and our results have been good and the performances have been good, so it's all been enjoyable, and you know, we're looking forward to the last leg now. Yeah, Cameron, you obviously joined up with the boys a few days later because you were playing in Copa America. First of all, how was that experience?
Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously probably didn't do as well as we wanted to when we went into the tournament, but you know, the experience itself was good. It was challenging. You know, playing in this weather and this climate is always challenging, but yeah, overall it's a good experience. It feels like, certainly from the two games we've seen, Liam, you've had a lot of match time, it feels like you boys are hitting the ground running. It feels like the sharpness is already there. Yeah, I'd say the sharpness is there. It's just maintaining it, and the fitness isn't quite there yet because we're obviously still in pre-season. The sharpness, definitely, we do feel sharp. We feel like our football has been good, but it's just maintaining that sharpness for 90 minutes, and that's what we're planning to do in this next game. Yeah, Cameron, watching on from the sidelines in the games against DC United and Manchester City, what have you made of the boys and how they've done? Yeah, no, I think it's been good. Like Liam said, it's still pre-season, so you know, we know there's still work to be done and improvements to be made, but it's definitely been a good start. You know, the DC game, obviously winning that fairly comfortably, and then the Man City game against a really good team was I thought was a very good performance. So yeah. If I could pick out a couple of players from that game against City, Nicholas Kuhn is getting a lot of headlines. He's a player that came to the club last year. He certainly hit the ground running. 2 great goals and assist for Kyogo. I asked the manager and I asked Nicholas as well, are we going to see the best of him this season? What do you think, Liam? Yeah, definitely. I think it does take time to adapt, and he's had his sort of that period in the last 6 months of last season where he did well, but like we all know, he's got another gear, and we're starting to see that now. So I do think it'll be a big year for him, and he showed really his quality yesterday. Like, the goals were brilliant, but then the assist was the pass had to be inch perfect, and to be able to do that with the outside of your foot takes a lot of skill, and you can see he's sharp and he's feeling confident, and yeah, hopefully it continues into the season for him. I'm sure it will. City, with all the money that they've got, have clearly got top quality players. Liam, what was it like for yourself, you know, putting your wits up against guys like Haaland? Yeah, it was a good challenge. I feel like you just have to be more aware of where he is at all times because of his pace, and then obviously their midfield players are good quality. They'll be able to pick him out from different positions, and you've seen with his goal, his power, he's strong and quick, and that was a good challenge. I enjoyed it a lot, you know. Kasper Schmeichel's come to the club, Cameron. There were a couple of trademark Schmeichel saves in that first half against City. How important is he going to be this season, particularly in the Champions League? There's going to be 8 games in that competition. How important is it that someone like Kasper, who's just used to playing at that kind of level? Yeah, no, I think, like you said, you know, in the game against Man City, he made a few really good, really big saves, and I think it always helps to kind of add that experienced player into a group, and you know, kind of in a similar way to Joe did over the last few years. You know, he can kind of help us in them tough moments and kind of, with his experience, like lead us forward. Yeah, it's important that he can integrate into the group as well. He seems to be doing that, no problem. Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of bonding here. We're playing a game called Wolf, and we're really enjoying that. You know, we're getting the whole squad together, the new guys in. It's sort of like, I suppose other people might call it mafia. It's like a card game where you have to try and find who the killers are, and he's gone straight in there, and he's head of the table. So no, he's fitting in well, and it's been enjoyable. You mentioned the experience, which is important, and you guys are obviously experienced members of the squad. A few of the young boys are here as well. You know, like Matty Anderson, Colby Donovan's got a lot of game time as well. Just a teenager. How important is it for them to be around the squad, and how what will it do for their confidence and their, you know, maturity to play in these games and be on a tour like this? I think, to be fair, obviously I come in late, so I haven't seen it all. But since I've been here, they've all been really good. Attitude's been right, and for them, I guess it's just kind of every day going out there and trying to improve and impress as much as they can. And in my opinion, a fair few of them have done that.
Yeah, absolutely, Liam.
Yeah, definitely, and we're starting to see a bit more like personality from them because we're spending more time with them, and they're sort of getting comfortable with us, and that's massive because they need to be comfortable with us so they can play as well as possible. Because if they're nervous and not really and quiet around us, it'd be more difficult for them. But now that we've seen a bit of personality out of them, and they're getting involved in everything we do, and you can see on the pitch as well that they look sharp, they look good, and yeah, they've impressed me.
Let me talk to you about the Celtic supporters over here in the States. We've managed to get in touch and interview quite a number of them. I know that you were at a JD event as well where you saw them. They're a passionate bunch over here for Celtic. It's incredible to see that passion. They are just so excited to see you guys over here. That must be great to see.
Yeah, it's refreshing. Like it's nice because it's all sort of. It's obviously probably the first time that they've seen us in the flesh. A lot of them. There is a lot of sort of Irish and Scottish based people who have moved over here and are still supporting Celtic. But then there's these American crowds that it might be their first time. It might be kids' first times at football games. So it's great. It's refreshing because it's all really positive and nice. Nice to see. You're putting a smile on people's faces, and it's good.
Yeah, obviously Copa America, but the World Cup, Cameron, is coming to North America soon as well. What is the state of soccer in this country? Is it still on the up?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, it's a tough one to kind of, come out with a statement about the whole state of American football. But I definitely think it's still growing. I think when you go to the stadiums, there's more and more fans turning up to watch the games, and I like to think kind of the level of the league and the level of the national team continues to get better and try and improve. So yeah.
So the next game we're playing is Chelsea at Notre Dame, as they call it over here. It's an 80,000 capacity stadium. Don't think it'll be full, but there will be tens of thousands of supporters there. Looking back in the history of that university as well, the connections, the kind of similar history to Celtic. Celtic was founded on the 6th of November 1887. Notre Dame played their very first football match just a couple of weeks later. The old kind of Irish Catholic background as well. There's going to be a great atmosphere there. How much are you looking forward to that, Liam?
Yeah, I've seen pictures of the stadium and it's just like, it's iconic, isn't it? So it's really looking forward to it. All the facilities we've played and trained at in the universities over here have been sort of out of this world. It's really, really impressive, and this is another one to sort of check off the list, and yeah, we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we go and get a good result. Is it a place you've been to before, Cameron?
No, I've never been there. Obviously, I've seen the picture, and I've seen a few college matches played there, not on TV, of course, but I've never actually been there.
Yeah, it does look incredible. We're looking forward to getting there. Let's go beyond that then to the season. You guys have obviously had a bit of a break, refresh, recharge, whatever, after the exploits of last season and the success. Flag Day is not long away now, the first game of the season against Kilmarnock. How much did last season's success fuel that desire to go on and do it again?
I think we know that, if playing at Celtic, that every year, you start afresh, and the challenge starts again, and that for us, that's what we're focusing on at the moment. Obviously, it's a long season, but we kind of know where we want to be coming end of this season, and for us, it's just about taking it step by step, game by game, and focusing on performance. And we know, I think the last few years have kind of proved if you hit that performance benchmark, then the results will come, and obviously the trophies at the end of it will come. Yeah,
and how much does a good pre-season, Liam, help towards that and getting a good start to the season?
Yeah, 100%, because you want to be going into the first game of this season like we did going into the last game of last season, the same sort of level of fitness, same sort of mentality, and hopefully be a little bit fresher because we've come off the back of a little break. So it's big, and playing in this climate and weather is going to help, because we know we're not going to get that back in Scotland. So this will hopefully take us above where we have to be, and that's where we want to be. The manager, of course, has been talking about slight adjustments. He always likes to keep things fresh and unpredictable as well. Have there been sessions over here? And I know it's good in a setting like this where you can get time as a group to actually sit down and talk about the season rather than just train, play. Have there been little alterations that the Celtic fans can maybe look forward to seeing,
you know, kind of something a bit different, something to keep people guessing a bit more?
Yeah, we've worked on different things, mainly for obviously when we play in the Champions League, like looking at ways where we can be maybe more secure behind the ball and still maintain attacks with players getting forward, but also having that little bit of extra cover. So it's minor little changes that are going to help us hopefully pick up more results in that competition, and yeah, that's been it.
Yeah, the fans are obviously looking forward, Cameron, to the new format of the Champions League. You guys are kind of in a bubble. You're always focusing just on that next game. Do you take time to think about the format? Will it change anything in terms of your approach?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I haven't thought too much about it yet. Obviously, it'll be good to have the 2 extra games, you know, regardless of kind of the results. But, you know, I imagine it'll probably be different. And obviously, it's the first time that Champions League have used that format, so we'll just kind of have to go into every game and try and perform, and then to kind of see where that takes us. But yeah, it's definitely good to have a couple extra games, and you know, we're looking forward to it.
Not just the extra games, but the extra opposition as well, Liam, because you only play these teams once, so there's a lot more teams that you're playing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting for sure, and obviously you get more games against lower seeded teams, so it's more opportunities to maybe pick up points. But also it's more experience for us going to different teams and having different teams at Celtic Park, and I think it'll be good for the fans as well. They have 4 separate away trips rather than 2 or 3, so it's yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll all come very quickly, of course. Let me finish by proposing a little game. You up for this?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a game we've come up with. So we're in America, okay? As you probably know, there are 50 states in America, and I'm ashamed to say that even though I think I'm quite educated when it comes to things, I always thought that Washington DC was one of the states, but it's not. But there are 58 states. Now, Cameron, people might think you've got a bit of an advantage because...
But you done geography, didn't you?
Yeah, but I didn't study American states, but I'll give it a go.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah, but he's good at like
I'm
capitals and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So Liam's good with the geography, you with the American background. So what I propose to do is we'll alternate it, right? And I want you just to name an American state. Okay, you can't just repeat the ones before.
Do you know, look.
I'll do all right. Not
Yeah,
well.
see,
Okay.
he knows he's got.
No,
what
I think
I'll do-
together we might get a good few. But
Well, no, you're going against each other.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you each 3 lives. Okay. So if it gets to a point where you're having to think too much, I'll give you 10 seconds to think of a state.
Okay.
If you can't think of one, then life's gone. Yeah. Okay. 3 lives you're allowed. After that, if you're out, the other person's the winner. Okay. And I'm going to tick off the states as we go.
Cool.
All right. So
I'll go first.
You go first.
Yeah.
Mugs away.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Let me tick that one off. Okay.
New York.
New York. Go for the easy ones first. Cameron.
Virginia.
Virginia. Let me tick that off. Yeah. Liam.
Florida.
Florida is indeed a state. Well done, Cam.
Louisiana.
Louisiana is gone.
California.
California. Well done.
Texas.
Texas. Gets harder as we go. Well done.
Nevada.
Nevada. Cam.
Georgia.
Georgia. Maybe we'll tick that off. Yep.
I'm struggling.
You're struggling now.
Well, if I go North Carolina.
South Carolina.
So we've got North Carolina and we've got South Carolina.
North Dakota.
North Dakota. Cam.
Indiana.
Indiana. We're about to head there.
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Cam.
You've got a few left.
Yeah, like a good few.
It's Wyoming one, is that one?
Wyoming, yeah.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Hawaii.
Hawaii is a state, yeah. Well done.
Missouri.
Missouri, yeah.
Michigan.
Michigan, you're doing well.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Alaska.
Alaska.
Arizona.
Arizona, you guys are flying.
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Utah.
Good one.
Did you say Iowa? No.
Yeah, I
Iowa.
said that.
Iowa. Correct. No, you didn't. Cam. Are you trying to picture it in your head?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
You say
1,
Ohio.
2.
I thought you said Ohio.
We said that. Ohio.
Ohio, well done.
Oh. Washington State.
Washington. He's putting you under pressure here. He's coming in quick with him, isn't he?
New England. No, that's not a state, is it?
Is that your guess?
I'll guess it. Yeah. Where is that? What state's that?
Say again?
I said New England.
New England? No, that's not a state.
Yeah, I know. What state is that in?
What state is New England in?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just got the states written down in front of me. It's like, is it Massachusetts? It's like,
Yeah, it's up north. It's up
one,
north.
I just gave one away.
Massachusetts.
We've done that, though, innit? Because I got it wrong.
No, we hadn't. There you
Oh, we're
go.
not done.
I thought we was done.
No. You get 3 lives.
Oh, 3 lives.
Yeah. So we carry on. Don't worry. I'll give you a clue. There are 2 others that begin New.
New Hampshire.
Well done.
Is that a state? Delaware.
Delaware. Good one.
I'm out, mate. To be honest.
Maine.
Can't think. Maine, yeah, Maine's one.
Who's taking that? Are you giving him that
I'll
one?
give it, eh?
Go on.
You giving him that one, right? Give you Maine, right? Liam?
How many are left?
You have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 left.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm going blank though. I don't
10,
know.
9, 8, 7, 6. It's you, Liam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liam loses a life. Cam?
Yeah, struggling.
Nevada?
Said that.
I don't know.
We'll do clues.
Yeah, go on.
We'll do clues now. You've still got 2 that begin with W.
Wyoming.
Said that. It's his shot.
Oh, sorry.
You don't want to work at the team, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, I tell you what, why don't we just keep going? Work as a pair.
Okay.
See if you can get all 50.
I don't think we're getting all 50.
2 beginning with W.
2 beginning with W. You've done Washington, you've done Wyoming, you've got 2 others beginning with W. And you've got 2 beginning with O.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma,
Oregon.
Oregon, the West Coast, well done, that's all your O's. 2 K's,
Kansas.
Kansas,
Kentucky.
Kentucky, oh you're flying now. 2, so no, that's 1. So you've got an A, you've got a C.
Alaska.
Oh, no, you said that.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, well done. You've got a C, you've got an I, you've got 2 M's.
Michigan.
You've said that already. You've got an N, 2 N's, a T, a V, and 2 W's.
Virginia.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, well done, yeah. That's your T.
We said Virginia.
You have said Virginia, yeah.
2 W's.
Huh?
2 W's.
There's another one close to Virginia, and I don't mean close as in, well, it's close, but it's also close in the name. There's Virginia, and there's also something Virginia.
New
West
Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Oh, well, shit.
You're getting there. What about the C?
Connecticut.
Columbus. No,
Connecticut.
Said that.
said that. I said Columbus.
It is CO.
No.
People go there skiing quite a lot.
And the
Columbus is in it. No, it's not. Columbus is Ohio.
Rock. Yeah.
Putting you off there. COL?
I have no idea, to be honest.
COLO?
Columbia.
COLOR?
Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
Right, we've got an I.
Indiana.
No, I said that.
Said that. Just 5 letters.
Idaho.
Idaho. Nearly there. 2 M's. M-I and M-O.
Said Missouri.
Said that.
Said Mississippi.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. And M-O. Quite high up. Lots of flat land. Big sky.
Yeah.
Montana.
Montana. Well done. Nearly there.
W's and V's, is there?
You've got an N. 2 N's.
2 N's.
One of them's a new. Down in the south.
New Mexico.
Well done.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah. You got another N.
Nebraska.
Nebraska. A P, an R, a V and a W.
Pittsburgh? No.
Portland.
Portland.
Portland's in Maine. Where's Philadelphia? What state?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
How many more we got?
You've got 3 more to get.
And what did I begin with?
One begins, it's 2 words, it's R-I. I think it's the smallest US state on the East Coast.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. And then you get 2 more, a V and a W. V-E-R.
Oh, I think it's on the tip of my tongue.
Vermont.
Well done, Vermont. And finally, whoever gets this one is the winner.
Oh, there we go.
W. I.
Win. Is it? Wisconsin?
Cameron Carter-Vickers gets
He is American.
Oh no, we've got one more. What did you say?
I said he is American, he should win.
Yeah,
If we have
no,
one more.
we've missed one here.
What was it beginning?
We were there last week. If you went on a slight detour, if you went on a trip, we went to a school there with Louis Palmer when we were in DC. It's literally just over from DC. Begins with M. Baltimore is the city.
M.
M.
M what? M.
M-A.
Maryland.
That's it. Yeah. Maryland.
Washington DC, not in Maryland.
No, DC's on its own. DC's like, it's like a federal state,
Yeah.
which is next to Maryland and Virginia. Well done, guys. We got there in the end. The American and the geography graduate. We finally got all 50 states. Well done, guys, and thanks for joining.
Thank
No
you.
worries, thank you.